He was one of those guys that I used to beat up in high school. That's what he looked like to me.
He direct messaged me on Twitter, and I was thinking, Matt Cook. I was like trying to picture him in my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that dude, that Ninja Turtle looking like mother.
When I first met him, I mean, I had maybe a different picture of more of like the business straight, guy, but he's kind of more of the X game style.
If you see him off the street, he looks like somebody who would have like a skateboard or a surfboard in his hand.
His diet used to be energy drinks and
But see, that stuff we want to know. That's good.
and Swedish fish, right? Like he lived off that for a while.
I know he's the only guy that can go to a steakhouse and order chicken fingers. Everybody's ordering $100 steaks, nice bottles of wine. He gets chicken fingers, French fries, and ketchup like a little kid. But as you get to work with him, the tattoos and the hats, you realize he's a pretty smart guy.
I look at Matt as one of my pretty good friends. I like Matt. He's a cool dude, and I think he's funny looking. He's a funny guy. He's turning into a really good truck driver.
He's like an alien in that way, as far as like anything like poker, golf. You don't want to mess with him on that, especially not if there's like money involved.
I've played poker with him. Yeah, it's kind of unfair playing with somebody with unlimited money and goes all in on no matter what card he has. So, I've played with him, and only to find out not only does he have a lot of money, but then he cheats and, messes around with the cards, thinks I'm an idiot and that I don't notice.
He's just a good, he'd make fun, like I wear a tie every day, right, to work, and he'd call me on my way to work and be like, yeah, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going into work. He's like, what are you wearing? I'm like, I'm wearing a tie, like every day. He's like, oh, that sucks. Your job sucks, come work for me. And
in 1999, 2000, got into the internet space, and in that time, the internet was booming, the space was booming, there was a lot of companies coming in, a lot of companies going out. And by 2004, 2005, my partner and I, who I'm still partners with, who runs all of our operations in Utah, we kind of made it in the internet space. And the business that we started there and developed there, we still have together, and it's still an ongoing business.
And internet, it is, and it still kind of is, but it was more like the Wild West back then. I didn't know people made money doing this. And he was like a cutting edge guy, kind of always had been. And so it fascinated me, this company that I didn't know anything about, this industry I didn't know anything about, and how he was successful at it.
In 2005, 2006, after we had good success with our internet business, I moved from Utah down to California and basically retired. I retired for, I would say, like 18 months. We had the business, it was running itself, it was doing very well. I came down here to basically surf, to chill out, hang out with the family, did all of the things that people that come to California to live did. Got bored of not doing anything and decided to get back into business and start some different things.
And so he said, hey, I'm starting my next company, do you want to come be a sales guy there? And so that's when I actually worked with him, as my boss, and totally different than anyone I'd ever worked for. Pretty unique style, like we can do anything for anybody.
I pitch him a lot of ideas. A lot of times he tells me the ideas are going to fail. I do them anyway. He winds up being right about it. So, that kind of pisses me off.
One of the reasons I think Matt is so successful at all his businesses, or most of them, is his ability to evolve.
I was always so fascinated about how he's able to turn these companies around.
One day he's like, oh, hey, can you come into this meeting? And it had to do with Supercross.
And one thing led to another, and all of a sudden Matt's like, yeah, hey, we're partnering with Lex and RJ, we're doing Supercross.com. And so to me, that's normal. We're always doing something new. So it wasn't shocking. It's just, all right, let's do it. Let's set it up. Let's get the, move the tech over, what are the people doing, is the staffing right, all the normal operational things we always do.
It was completely different from what we had been doing traditionally for online marketing.
We have a meeting with everybody. We talk about a lot of different ideas. Obviously, from my initial meeting with Lex and Ricky Johnson, I thought that there was an opportunity for me to get involved and help monetize the property, make money with Supercross.com.
They started thinking, well, maybe we don't need to do just stories and blogs and this and that. They started looking at where the money's coming in and how it's going to be profitable. Because that's the strength of Matt Cook and his whole organization, is how is the site going to make money?
And when we start going down and looking at things in more detail and looking at how the site is making money right now through advertising, which is really the only way it was making money at the time, it becomes apparent really quick that the amount of advertising revenue that the site's generating doesn't even cover the wages of the 2 people that are working there right now.
That's what I respected about Matt, is these, let's say these 3 areas. You know, you got 10 things up there. These 3 areas is where you're making your money. These three areas is what people want to see. So we need to make them better to encompass that.
The second meeting we had, it kind of went this direction of what else can we do with Supercross.com. And the ideas were just flying all over the place.
Having Matt write all these ideas on the board.
Directions that we can go, things to do, but big picture.
Through his racing team, through a possible reality show.
To a race team, to increasing our ticket sales, to doing custom events.
So that was the first thing that we were going to do, is do this reality show. It's going to be called 33, where it's going to take Jeff Ward and myself managing these young riders to make them a champion. And
you could see a vision forming that was much grander than anything we had done in the past.
After the meeting, I stepped back, it's like thinking, man, this is a lot of freaking work.